We shall overcome. Thank you. The process in Northern Ireland, as far as I am concerned, has been most heavily inspired by the inspiration of this place. When I first came here in 1979, I tell this story often, I went for a walk across the bridge from Strasbourg to Kiel. I stopped and I thought, 30 years ago, if I had stood in this bridge and said, don't worry, although there's 25 million people dead for the second time in a century, and for centuries these peoples of Europe have slaughtered one another, now it's all over, and in 30 years they will all be together, I might have been sent to see a psychiatrist. But it happened. And let us not forget that European Union is the best example, as we have learned, in the history of the world of conflict resolution. And the philosophy that created European Union and the peace of Europe is the philosophy, if you study it, that is at the heart of our agreement. Respect for difference and for diversity. The creation of institutions which respect that diversity, but which allow all sections to work together in their common interests. Economics, spill their sweat, not their blood. And by doing that, begin the real healing process of breaking down the barriers of centuries and the new society evolves. That is the philosophy of European Union, and it's the philosophy of real peace. And might I add, that is the philosophy that we should be sending to areas of conflict in the world. We should not be sending armies, we should be sending a philosophy. And given the philosophy that we have in this building, it's a philosophy that will resolve conflict everywhere. Because at the end of the day, all conflict is about the same thing. It's about seeing difference as a threat. And what we all have to learn is what the peoples of Europe learned, and we are learning in Northern Ireland. Difference, whether it's your race or your religion or your nationality, is an accident of birth. And it's not something we should be engaged in conflict about. It's something we should respect. Thank you very much for your expression today.
The Nobel Peace Prize was collected by the heads of the EU's three main institutions. The ceremony took place in Norway's capital, Oslo. The European Union was awarded the prize for its role in uniting the continent and bringing about reconciliation after 2 world wars. The prize is for all Europeans, and leaders from across Europe stood to show their support. The chairman of the prize committee praised the work of the EU.
Jean Monnet said that nothing can be achieved without human beings, but nothing becomes permanent without institutions. The EU has constantly been a central driving force throughout these processes of reconciliation. The EU has in fact helped to bring about both the fraternity between nations and the promotion of peace congresses, of which Alfred Nobel wrote in his will.
Germany and France were commended for turning from old enemies into allies.
The presence here today of German Chancellor Angela Merkel and French President François Hollande make this day very particular, symbolic for all of us, I believe.
Of the State of the Union, I am reminded of the words of John Hume, one of the great Europeans who sadly passed away this year. If so many people live in peace today on the island of Ireland, it is in large part because of his unwavering belief in humanity and conflict resolution. He used to say that conflict was about difference and that peace was about respect for difference. And as he so rightly reminded this House in 1998, and I quote, "The European visionaries decided that difference is not a threat. Difference is natural. Difference is the essence of humanity." End of quote. And these words are just as important today as they ever have been.